Most preppers plan to grab a bag and drive. Military doctrine says that decision gets you killed first. Roads are where convoys get ambushed. Roads are where fleeing civilians become collateral statistics. U.S. Urban Operations Doctrine, ATP 3-06, trains soldiers to react to contact in dense terrain using a specific sequence. That sequence has never been translated for a civilian household. Until now, 8 steps, exact order, pulled from the same reaction to contact framework taught to every infantry unit operating in urban terrain. By the end of this, you'll have a protocol that works whether the crisis is war, civil collapse, or catastrophic infrastructure failure. Step 5 introduces a $70 medical configuration that military medics consider more critical than a loaded firearm. And most preppers have never staged one. Everyone else will be standing at their windows with the lights on, trying to call someone. You'll already be invisible. Here's the reality. When urban conflict escalates, systems don't degrade. They collapse. Cell networks overload within minutes. Roads gridlock within 45 minutes. That's documented. Hurricane Rita. And that was an announced evacuation with days of warning. Power-dependent water systems lose pressure within hours. The cascade is predictable. You lose awareness first, then mobility, then shelter integrity, then supply access. Each failure feeds the next. Military planners call urban terrain the most complex operating environment on Earth. What follows is the military reaction to contact drill, restructured for a family and a residential structure. The sequence is non-negotiable. Order matters. Skipping a step doesn't save time. It removes a layer of survivability you can't get back. Action 1. Kill your lights and go silent. Minute 0. Before you assess, before you grab anything, before you look outside. Reduce your signature, every light off, every device silenced. Move away from windows immediately. This is not optional and it is not dramatic. It's the single most important thing you do in the first 60 seconds. In Mosul, coalition forces identified occupied structures through light and electronic emissions. They used thermal and visual scanning to separate occupied from unoccupied buildings. In Sarajevo, snipers indexed illuminated windows. A lamp in a living room became a targeting reference. Your instinct is to turn on the news. That instinct makes you visible. Your instinct is to check your phone. That screen is a beacon in a dark room. Civilian mistake, reaching for a remote or a device. Trained response, becoming invisible before becoming informed. This is the hardest step in the entire protocol because it requires you to act before you understand what's happening. That is exactly what the OODA loop demands. Observe, orient, decide, act. But in a crisis, the loop compresses. You act on partial information, or the situation acts on you. Hesitation is not caution. Hesitation is exposure. Every second you're backlit by a screen or a ceiling light, you're broadcasting your position to anyone scanning the street. Go dark, go silent. Then figure out what's happening. You have the rest of the protocol to get informed. You have about 3 seconds to stop being a target. The trained individual handles lights and sound in under 10 seconds. The untrained individual is still standing at the window 5 minutes later. That 5 minutes is the difference between invisible and indexed. I've written up a full breakdown on urban crisis response for you. Everything you need to know. First link in the description. Action 2. Identify your hard corner. Minute 1 to minute 3. Military Urban Operations Doctrine defines a hard corner as a position offering maximum fragmentation protection with a viable exit route. That second part matters. Protection without an exit is a trap. Residential translation, interior room, lowest floor, no exterior walls, away from glass. 12 inches of packed earth stops rifle caliber fragmentation. 8 inches of concrete does the same. Those are the ATP 3-06 baselines. Your house probably has neither, so you improvise. A cast iron bathtub provides ballistic resistance that most people don't consider. A brick interior wall, if your home has one, performs far beyond standard construction. A room lined with loaded bookshelves creates a density barrier that drywall will never match. Drywall stops nothing. Standard interior drywall is half an inch thick. A 9mm round passes through 14 layers of it. Rifle caliber penetrates exterior walls, interior walls, and furniture without meaningful deflection. If your shelter plan is close the bedroom door, you don't have a shelter plan. You need mass between you and the threat. Move your family to the hard corner first. Everything else in this protocol executes from that position. You don't stage supplies, make calls, or fill water from the kitchen. You move people first, then extend from the secure position. Think of it as your command post. Every action radiates outward from there, and every person returns to it. If you have children, assign them a specific spot in the hard corner. Give them a job. Hold this bag. Sit against this wall. A task reduces panic. An assigned position prevents wandering. Your hard corner is the foundation of every step that follows. Choose it tonight. Walk your family to it tonight. Make sure everyone knows where it is without being told. Action 3. Execute your PACE communication plan. Minute 3 to minute 10. PACE stands for Primary, Alternate, Contingency, Emergency. This is the communication framework used by every military unit from squad level to division. You're going to build one for your household. Primary is a voice call, simple, direct. You call your spouse, your parents, your designated contact. If it connects, you pass information and move to the next action. Alternate is text messaging. Text uses dramatically less bandwidth than voice. During network overload, voice calls fail while texts still push through. This is not theory. It's documented across every major urban disruption of the past 20 years. Texts compress to kilobytes. Voice calls demand continuous bandwidth. When the network is choking, text gets through the gap. Contingency is a pre-designated out-of-area contact. Someone who lives far enough away that their local network isn't affected by your crisis. Every family member independently checks in with this person, your brother in another state. A friend 3 time zones away, they become your relay. They collect status from each family member and redistribute information. This works when local circuits are saturated. Emergency is a physical rally point, a specific location every family member can reach without electronic coordination. No phone needed, no signal needed. A school, a church, a specific intersection. Everyone knows it. Everyone can navigate to it from wherever they are. Critical distinction. You execute this plan during the crisis. You build it tonight, before anything happens. If you're building your PACE plan during a crisis, you don't have a PACE plan. You have a panic reaction disguised as communication. Write it down. 4 lines. Tape it inside a kitchen cabinet. Make every person in your household repeat it back to you. Primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. 4 layers deep. When the first one fails, the second activates. When the second fails, the third. That's not pessimism. That's redundancy. And redundancy is the only thing that survives contact with chaos. Action 4. Fill every container with water. Minute 10 to minute 20. Water infrastructure fails when power fails. This is not a maybe. Municipal water systems depend on electric pumps to maintain pressure. When the grid goes down, pressure drops within hours. Your tap runs slower, then it trickles, then nothing. Survivable hydration requires a minimum of half a gallon per person per day. That's the bare minimum. Clinical survival number. Realistic need is 1 gallon per person per day, once you account for sanitation, cooking, and basic hygiene. A family of 4 needs 4 gallons a day just to function. 12 gallons for 3 days. That's the minimum viable window. Fill bathtubs. Fill every pot in your kitchen. Fill trash bags and set them inside boxes for structural support. Fill water bottles, pitchers, mixing bowls. Anything that seals or holds liquid. Sarajevo survivors, people who lived through a 4-year siege, rank water above weapons, above food, above medicine. They had guns, they had stockpiles. What broke them was thirst. Dehydration degrades cognitive function within 24 hours. Your ability to make decisions, to think clearly, to assess threats, begins deteriorating after 1 day without adequate water. At 48 hours, you're impaired. At 72 hours, dehydration becomes lethal. This is the step people skip because it feels undramatic. There's nothing tactical about filling a bathtub. There's no gear to show off, no weapon to stage. But this is the step that determines whether your decision-making holds through day 3. Every choice you make after hour 24 depends on whether your brain is hydrated enough to make it. Combat Operations Doctrine prioritizes water resupply above ammunition resupply for exactly this reason. A dehydrated unit makes fatal errors. A dehydrated family does the same. Fill the containers now while pressure still exists. Once it's gone, you can't get it back without leaving your position. Action 5. This is the one. Pay attention. Stage a blowout medical kit. Minute 20 to minute 30. The number one preventable cause of battlefield death is extremity hemorrhage. Bleeding from arms and legs, not center mass gunshot wounds, not head trauma, limb bleeds. People bleed out from injuries that a $30 piece of equipment can stop in under 30 seconds. A combat application tourniquet costs roughly $30. It's the single most proven piece of life-saving equipment in modern military medicine. Hemostatic gauze, the kind that accelerates clotting on contact, runs about $15. A chest seal, which addresses penetrating chest wounds and prevents lung collapse, adds another $15. Total cost of this kit, under $70. This micro kit addresses the 3 injuries most likely to kill you in the first hours of urban violence. Extremity hemorrhage, junctional bleeding, tension, pneumothorax. $70, 3 applications, 3 lives potentially saved. Now here's the line that reframes everything. A firearm without this kit staged beside it is, by military medical doctrine, an incomplete defensive system. You can put rounds on a threat, but if you or someone next to you takes fragmentation or a ricochet, and you have no tourniquet, no hemostatic gauze, no chest seal, that firearm didn't protect anyone. It just made noise while someone bled out. Most preppers have 3 rifles and 0 tourniquets. That is an inverted priority stack. The military never separates weapon systems from medical capability. Every soldier carries a tourniquet on their person. Every squad has a combat lifesaver. Every platoon has a medic. The weapon is useless if the operator bleeds out before using it. Stop the Bleed training teaches tourniquet application, wound packing, and chest seal placement in under 2 hours. It's offered free at hospitals, fire stations, and community centers nationwide. A 30-second tourniquet application stops a bleed that kills in 3 minutes. That ratio, 30 seconds versus 3 minutes, is the most efficient life-saving action in all of emergency medicine. Stage this kit wherever you stage your defense. Nightstand, hard corner, front hallway, $70, 30 seconds to apply, and it fills the gap that $3,000 worth of firearms never will. Action 6. Establish neighborhood situational awareness, minute 30 to minute 45. No military unit operates in isolation, not a squad, not a platoon, not a company. Every element depends on mutual support. Adjacent units provide flank security, shared intelligence, and redundant observation. Your neighborhood is your operational area. Your nearest trusted households are your adjacent units. Check on your 2 or 3 closest trusted neighbors. Share information. What did you see? What did you hear? What direction? How long ago? Establish non-electronic communication signals. A knock pattern on a shared wall. A specific light sequence with a flashlight. A chalk mark on a mailbox indicating status. These sound primitive. They work when nothing electronic does. During the 1992 Los Angeles riots, neighborhoods that self-organized experienced measurably less damage and fewer casualties than isolated households. Korean-American business owners in Koreatown coordinated rooftop observation and mutual defense. Their losses were a fraction of surrounding blocks. You cannot observe 360 degrees alone. You have blind spots. Your house has blind spots. A single family in a single structure cannot maintain awareness of every approach. Community coordination is not a nice idea. It's a force multiplier. In military terms, it extends your security perimeter from your front door to your block. That's the difference between 30 feet of awareness and 300 feet. Agree on signals before you need them. Identify who has medical training. Identify who has tools. Identify who has line of sight to approaches you can't see. This isn't about forming a militia. It's about sharing eyes and information. The unit that communicates survives. The unit that isolates gets enveloped. Your neighborhood is your unit. Action 7. Prepare to move, but do not move yet. Minute 45 to minute 60. Shoes on every family member, not sandals, not slippers. Closed-toe shoes with soles thick enough to handle broken glass and debris. Essential documents in one bag. Identification, insurance information, medical records, cash, and small bills. 72 hours of water and calories. Your staged medical kit? One light source per person, headlamp preferred, hands stay free. A physical map with 2 marked exit routes, not a phone map. Paper. Phones die, phones break. Phones require signal to navigate. Paper works in every condition, but you hold position. You do not move yet. You hold until you have directional intelligence on the threat. Where is the danger? Which direction is it moving? Is it static or expanding? Premature movement kills. During Katrina, people who left viable shelter for open roadways died in conditions that their homes would have survived. A damaged roof is superior shelter to a sedan on an exposed highway. Your instinct will scream at you to run. That instinct is wrong in nearly every urban crisis scenario. Vehicles become traps on gridlocked roads. They offer zero ballistic protection. They make you visible, slow, and predictable. A car on a stalled highway is the single worst tactical position in urban conflict. Your home, even damaged, offers walls, concealment, stored resources, and familiar terrain. You know the layout in the dark. You know the exits. You know the hard corner. A car offers none of that. Prepare everything so that if movement becomes necessary, you execute it in under 5 minutes. Pack staged, routes memorized, family briefed. But the decision to move is the last decision you make, not the first. Hold position. Gather intelligence. Move only when staying becomes more dangerous than going. And when you move, move fast, move quiet, and move to a specific destination. Never move just to be moving. Action 8. Learn to read sound. Beyond minute 60, this is the skill that separates trained from untrained in every urban conflict environment on Earth. The crack-thump rule. A sharp crack followed by a thump. The crack is the supersonic shockwave of a round passing near your position. The thump is the muzzle report arriving after it. Crack then thump means the round passed close and the shooter is at a distance. The time gap between crack and thump tells you roughly how far. 1 second of gap equals approximately 350 meters. Crack only, no thump, means the shooter is very close. Inside 100 meters. The round's shockwave and the muzzle blast arrive almost simultaneously. That's the most dangerous reading. It means the threat is on top of you. Thump only, no crack, means the fire is distant or not directed at your position. Rounds passing far from you don't generate a perceptible crack. You hear only the muzzle report echoing through the terrain. That's a lower threat indicator. For explosions, the rule is simpler and more visceral. If you feel the pressure wave on your skin, you are inside the secondary fragmentation radius. That means shrapnel, glass, and debris are in your immediate area. If you only hear the blast but feel no pressure, you're outside the primary danger zone. This acoustic literacy determines whether your next movement is informed or suicidal. Moving toward a crack-only signature means moving toward a close shooter. Moving away from thump only means moving away from distant, non-directed fire. Veterans use this instinctively. They process these sounds in fractions of a second because they've trained on them. Civilians almost never hear about this. You can learn it in minutes. It costs nothing. It requires no equipment. And it gives you more tactical information than any piece of gear you'll ever buy. Sound is data. In urban terrain, where sightlines are blocked by structures, sound becomes your primary intelligence source. Learn to read it the way you read a map. Direction, distance, threat level. Every sound tells you something. The trained ear hears a situation report. The untrained ear hears chaos. 8 actions, exact order. You've now got the same reaction to contact framework that every infantry unit uses adapted for your house, your family, your street. The protocol on urban crisis response I've put together goes deeper on all of it. First link in the description. The only question left is whether you'll build your pace plan and stage your medical kit tonight, or whether you'll wait until the lights go out and wish you had.